everyone, I'm RedMufflerMan. So last week, as of the recording of this video, Netflix released Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. And this is a movie I've been anxiously waiting for ever since I saw the series together with a friend of mine over Discord during, quarantine. But for a lot of you out there, there's a very high likelihood that you saw this movie pop up and went, "What?" And for good reason. The history of the show is troubled, to say the least. But I want to talk about it for a bit, because frankly, this show bangs! Let's venture back to the magical year of 2018. The world was greeted with the release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Avengers Infinity War finally came out, and we were only 1 year away from a massive apocalyptic nightmare. And so we had the premiere of Rise of the TMNT on July 20th, 2018. And it was completely different from any of the shows we had had before. The Turtles were really bad at being ninjas. They had magic weapons that let them do all sorts of crazy shit, like opening portals, or making yourself into a giant energy kaiju! In most of the previous shows, the visual designs were always very rounded and uniform for the Turtles.
Almost as if having them look the same would make it easier to produce toys.
But in Rise, each of the Turtles have their own unique look based on different species of turtles. Raph is a snapping turtle, Leo is a red-eared slider turtle, Donnie is a softshell turtle, and he wears a little backpack to hide his soft backside. It's a cute little detail. And Mikey is a box turtle. This does a lot to really give each turtle their own visual look, and it really helps them stand out from each other, which helps a lot because visually, this show is f***ing insane! Shots are animated in dynamic fashion. Characters will be running towards the camera in perspective with bombastic explosions. Fluid and powerful motions are animated with a stylistic masterstroke and just... It's so cool, dude! It's very reminiscent of the type of animation you'd find in anime like Gurren Lagann or Promare, and when I was rewatching a few scenes to prepare writing this, I found myself just squealing. You can tell the folks at Flying Bark are a bunch of weebs, and God, I love them for it. Rise is also genuinely funny and well-written. Each of the turtles stand apart really well from one another, ranging from Leo's Peter Parker-esque jokiness, which is elevated by Ben Schwartz's stellar performance, who you might remember as Sonic the Hedgehog.
Meow?
Raph is portrayed as this big tough guy who wants to lead his brothers down the path of being heroes, but also having this uncertainty about himself where he's prone to cracking under pressure.
Stop talking about my fear stink!
Mikey's a free-spirited little guy that doesn't really like fighting. He's the artist of the family, constantly drawing, making music, and generally just enjoying life as he goes.
How about we let the artist of the crew take a poke at it?
And then we have Donnie. Like always, he's the tech guy. He's also a narcissistic, self-centered know-it-all that has no respect for anyone around him. I love him. He's my favorite.
You are not kidding, are you?
Oh, and did I mention the main antagonist is voiced by John Cena?
So... is this gonna hurt?
It will, if I'm doing it right.
So, incredible cast, radical new ideas, a complete reimagining of the Turtles with gorgeous animation and a radically stylized presentation. The show is poised to make a splash on Nickelodeon when it finally dropped. And all the Turtles fans hated it. Why? So yeah, when I said the show was completely different, that apparently didn't sit well with a lot of Turtles fans. Raph isn't supposed to be the leader. Why are they calling themselves the Mad Dogs? This show looks way too weird. Splinter is a bad dad. And okay, yeah, for the record, Splinter in this show is kind of a bad dad.
No, my butt is asleep. Just how I like it.
There's a payoff to all of this, I promise. But yeah, a lot of Turtles fans were, pretty vocal about their disdain for the show's overall direction. This radical departure was a little too radical for a lot of people. But over time, the show really began to get a foothold with some really dedicated fans that enjoyed what Rise was trying to bring to the table. And then Nickelodeon stepped in. Nick had a lot of confidence in the show at first. Upon its premiere, they immediately renewed it for a second 26-episode season. But as the first season progressed, that 26-episode order went to 13. Then the pragmatic overlords at Nick decided to move premieres of the new episodes off of the main Nickelodeon network onto Nicktoons, which is a premium channel service that mostly only airs reruns of older shows. So yeah, the Turtles were essentially thrown into Nicktoons jail, episodes weren't aired on any sort of streaming services, and Nick kinda just left the show to die. Despite this, season 1 did okay, if you at least look at the ratings for the show on a premium channel. But then we skipped to 2019, the world went into lockdown, and oh boy! The concurrent viewership for this show on TV was abysmal for the second season. Add on to the fact that due to Nick cutting the episode count from 26 to 13, Flying Bark had to cut a large swath of the content they had planned, meaning even episodes that had been completely boarded and ready to begin production just had to be thrown out. Yet in spite of that, Season 2 is some of the best moments of anything I've seen from the Turtles. The last episode in particular has one of the greatest pieces of animation I've ever seen, and people started to take notice. Scenes from the final episode started to make the rounds on social media, and people started freaking out. How is it that a show this cool had evaded their notice all this time? Nickelodeon! Professional bag fumblers! And then we have the movie that was just released, and this is great. Everything that's fantastic about the Rise series is present here. It focuses on Leo's personal journey, having to take responsibility to protect the things that he loves, and realizing that no matter how tough things in life get, he can always rely on those around him, that the act of asking for help isn't a weakness, but the greatest strength. Also, Casey Jones travels from the future to stop a Kang invasion and has a fucking chainsaw hockey stick, and it's so fucking cool! Ah! But yeah, I can't recommend Rise of the TMNT enough. Pull up Netflix and give it a watch, is what I would say, but currently, Netflix only has the first season and the movie. Netflix can't stop taking L's, dude. So, I'm gonna ask you guys a favor. Watch the show and the movie, and really give it a shot. I think it's something that a lot of people will love. And then tell me what you think in the comments, and on social media, with the hashtag SaveROTTMNT. This show is really something special. It has a style and sincerity that I think really sets it apart, and honestly, I hope you like it as much as I do. But if you like what we do, feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you like me, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube as RedMufflerMan. And yeah, I'll see you later, everybody. Take it easy.